Elias stood on a hill overlooking the settlement. A sea of rotting flesh stretched out behind him, a grotesque parody of a cheering crowd. His voice, amplified by a makeshift loudspeaker system, boomed across the landscape. "People of New Hope," he sneered, "I am back." Fear choked the hearts of the survivors, huddled within the settlement's walls. They had heard whispers of his return, dismissed them as nightmares. Now the nightmare was real. Olivia, battle-hardened and resolute, refused to yield to despair. She had seen too much, lost too much to surrender now. Gathering the remaining survivors in the town square, she met their fearful gazes with a fire in her eyes. "We have fought for our lives before," she declared, her voice ringing with determination, "and we will fight again." A surge of defiance rippled through the crowd. They were battered, but not broken. They would make Elias pay for every inch of ground. At the edge of the settlement, Lincoln led a small, stealthy squad through the deserted streets. Their mission to reach the sound system. Elias used to taunt them and silence it. Every creak of a door, every rustle of leaves sent shivers down their spines. The air was thick with the stench of decay, a constant reminder of the relentless enemy surrounding them. Lincoln, ever the strategist, moved with a quiet grace, his eyes constantly scanning for any sign of movement. He knew the fate of New Hope rested on their shoulders. June, haunted by past mistakes, had a different plan. She moved like a phantom, a lone figure slipping through the shadows, her eyes fixed on the looming silhouette of the bell tower. It was there, she believed, that Elias awaited, relishing in the fear he sowed. A single flare gun rested in her pack, a beacon of hope and a weapon of last resort. She would confront Elias, atone for her past, even if it meant sacrificing everything. Olivia watched as the first wave of walkers crashed against their makeshift barricades. The defenders, a ragtag group of farmers, teachers and shopkeepers, fought with the ferocity of cornered animals. Gunfire erupted, punctuating the air with bursts of light and sound. The smell of gunpowder mingled with the sickeningly sweet odor of decay. Olivia, wielding a fire axe with deadly precision, fought her way to the front line. She was a whirlwind of motion, hacking and slashing, her face a mask of grim determination. Meanwhile, Lincoln and his team inched closer to their target. They moved like ghosts, their steps muffled by the dust-covered pavement. Every so often, they would catch a glimpse of the herd, a vast, undulating mass of rotting flesh. The sight sent chills down their spines, a stark reminder of what was at stake, but they pressed on, their resolve fueled by a desperate hope. June, her heart pounding in her chest, reached the base of the bell tower. She could hear the faint echoes of Elias's voice, laced with amusement and malice. Taking a deep breath, she began her ascent, her fingers gripping the rusty rungs of the ladder. With each step, she was bombarded by flashbacks, memories of her past mistakes, of the people she had failed. But she pushed those thoughts aside, focusing on the task at hand. As she climbed, the sounds of battle reached her ears. The defenders of New Hope were putting up a valiant fight, but they were outnumbered, outmatched. She could hear the roar of the herd, the desperate cries of the wounded, the chilling laughter of Elias. Time seemed to slow down. Every second stretched into an eternity. She had to reach the top. She had to stop him. Chapter 4. The Final Face-Off. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Elias stood at the edge of the battlefield, the weight of the world pressing down on his shoulders. Before him stood June, cloaked in shadows, her eyes burning with hatred and determination. The air crackled with tension as the two adversaries circled each other, their movements measured and deliberate. The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of their labored breaths. Then, without warning, the battle began. Blades clashed, sparks flew, and the ground trembled beneath their feet. Each strike was met with a counter, each move anticipated and parried. Finally, with a final, desperate effort, Elias struck a decisive blow. June fell, the shadows dissipating to reveal a face twisted in pain and regret. But the victory was bittersweet. As the dust settled, Elias realized the true cost of his triumph, and as the first light of dawn broke through the darkness, Elias knew that the journey was far from over. Chapter 5. A New Dawn?